Alright, this is your morning update on Hurricane Milton right now in the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to look at it on radar and Mega real quick before we move to move to the apps on Google. But as you can see right now, it's a Category 4 hurricane with 155-mile-an-hour sustained winds, 190-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and a central pressure of 924 millibars. That's a drop by like 20 millibars since yesterday night when we were watching a Category 5 historical hurricane. You see right here, 173 miles an hour last night. To right now, where it is 155, it's expected to become Category 5 again right here. And it all depends on the interaction with the jet stream, but I think it's going to be an unfavorable jet interaction to where it weakens the storm and does not strengthen it further. Therefore, we're going to get a Category 3 landfall at around 2 a.m. on Wednesday. Or 2 a.m. technically on Friday, but this is going to be Tuesday night into or Wednesday night into Monday morning. Right now, Tuesday is expected to stay here, and then this is Wednesday, and then Tuesday it's going to be into Florida. Thursday it's going to be into Florida. So we need to watch out for potential impacts early in the morning. Next, looking in Google here, again looking at this discussion, the pinhole I seen yesterday has been filled, and earlier aircraft data showed a double eyewall structure. This means that it is completing an eyewall replacement cycle. That means the eyewall is replacing itself, and based on the conditions it's still in, that means it could still get stronger and as strong as what we saw on Monday. So again, I would not, just because it's weakening quite a bit, doesn't mean it's going to not impact as much, and that is a clear sign of that finishing that eyewall replacement cycle, and it's about to go berserk in the Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico. By the time this is uploaded, it's going to be 7:30 a.m. By the time you watch this, it's probably already doing that. This is a completed eyewall replacement cycle of a very dangerous hurricane. This is a hurricane that has already broken records and could break even more. Going to going to forecast models. I don't like looking at these at this range. But going to the HFSB model, got this spot on so far, as it continuing to weaken and then strengthening again, and then making landfall as quite a weak Category 2 to 3 storm. So this is a good case scenario, not as much flooding, but I don't know how this does with reflectivity on here. You can see that tornado threat is going to be very high in Central Florida. I will be able to cover tornado threat, but I'm not sure about covering much else. The jet interaction on almost every single model is unfavorable. There's no guidance that this is going to be a favorable jet interaction right now, which is a good thing. And all the guidance is pointing me to say that this is going to make landfall in Tampa, Florida, a little more north and a little more south as possible, because as this gets closer to the coast, it's going to wobble a little bit, move directions. But yeah, going to the National Hurricane Center to look at different things on here. Let's first look at the peak surge map. 10 to 15 feet of storm surge still expected in the Tampa Bay area. Just because we're not expecting a Category 5 hurricane hitting Tampa does not mean we're not going to get a bad hurricane hitting Tampa. This is going to be a very historical storm not seen in 100 years for the Tampa Bay area. Alright, so we need to be careful with this. Areas that's already been plummeted But Hurricane Helene is going to get more storm surge. South Carolina, Georgia coast, into eastern Florida coast is going to get storm surge from a Category 1 hurricane. It's not going to go north like Ian into South Carolina. It's going to go out into the ocean. Let's look at the cone. As you can see, no chance of this hitting South Carolina at all. Or Georgia. This is going to go straight through, out the other side, and weaken. The waters and shear favorability on this side is terrible, so it's not going to strengthen really, or I'm not expecting it to strengthen at all. Major hurricane. Again, let's go ahead and go to this rainfall map. We could see to 16 inches just northeast of Orlando, the beach area. Jacksonville can get 4 to 6. Miami's expecting none, or 1 to none. 20, 30 inches. I would expect localized amounts of that, very sporadic around this, and 16 to 20 inches. Not expected widely, but it could be expected for localized areas. Going to flash flooding potential, high risk on the excessive rainfall outlook. This is on day 2. So this is for tomorrow, Wednesday. We're expecting a high risk of flash flooding around the Tampa area. They did not need it, which is why you should have evacuated while you could. I just watched the Weather Channel for updates on a lot of the evacuation data stuff. But yeah, going to storm surge, inundation. You can see this is the Charlotte Harbor area into Naples, I think. Naples is down here. Cape Coral is going to get flooded massively by storm surge on this. Cape Coral, I hope you've evacuated. This whole area of Charlotte Harbor and stuff down here. Sarasota, you should have evacuated. All these keys are going to be flooded. And these coastal areas, usually a lot of these don't have homes. Like this has homes though. Some parts, there's houses and buildings over here, but this whole central part of St. Petersburg is going to be safe, hopefully. We're not expecting storm surge to flood literally the entire thing. We're expecting it to flood the coastal areas of it. But paired with rainfall, the storm surge is going to have a little more than this. However, but yeah, going, lastly, before we go, SBC risk tornadoes 5%, which is probably going to rise to 10% maybe today at the day 2 SBC update. Going to satellite imagery, you can see a lot of everything's dying down. Milton, you need to still watch out for Milton. This is going to be a strong hurricane. At landfall, and right now it still is. It still has almost all pink convection around the center, which is, it's very healthy right now. It's still trying to filter out that old eye, and it's almost ready to start rapidly intensifying. Lastly, analysis tools. See satellite imagery. Already looked at that. Ocean analysis. You see the oceans are still very warm. We're still going into La Nina. We're at a weak La Nina right now. But you can see the Caribbean water temperatures are very hot. We're gonna have hurricanes come through the Caribbean quite a bit here. But yeah, that's all I have left. Looking at the future past this, which I was discussing yesterday on that stream. We're still maybe expecting a Caribbean hurricane after this is all done. We're going to continue getting waves, and we have an area of favorability to October 17th and late or early November. Not late November, early November. But yeah, thank y'all for watching this weather update. See you this afternoon when we stream again. And yeah.